How's it going, everyone? It is Only here. Welcome back to another video as always. So really, I've been thinking lately that it is the middle of March now, and we're kind of like in the middle of probably like the biggest time that games are starting to pick up this year. Now, going into this year, I always thought like the middle of March was really when it was starting to pick up. You know, we got things like A Way Out and Far Cry 5, and really the rest of spring seemed pretty good, and just overall into the year it seemed pretty solid. So I really thought that spring was kind of like the time that this year in particular seems like it's going to stand out more than past years, especially to my own interest as well. And I think there's like just generally a good number of games than usual what comes out around this time of the year. So it does feel like a storm that's coming in terms of games, at least through March and May, and a big title in April, of course. So I figured I'd use this chance to really like go into spring talking about kind of like the games I'm planning on picking up, talk to you guys about it, and go over like, you know, the hottest games and overall what the next couple months going into E3. I don't even want to say that it really kind of starts, you know, this week, because, you know, we got Burnout Paradise last week, and we just did get Sea of Thieves, which has kind of got mixed receptions, but it seems to like found its crowd, and it seems like it has that kind of player base that knows what they're wanting into this game, so that's pretty cool to see. I did actually play the beta myself, and I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know if I'm planning on buying it anytime soon here, but maybe things will change. But besides those two titles, I guess this is really when it starts to pick up for me, at least personally, because we have A Way Out, and by the time you guys are watching this video, A Way Out comes tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. This is a game that was definitely one of the biggest surprises and standouts for EA's conference for sure, but overall just in E3 last year, definitely it stood out to me. Looking forward to it. Kind of like the game just kind of snuck up on me. I didn't realize it was really going to be this soon until we started seeing like Joseph Fares pop up on like IGN and GameSpot showing off a lot of new footage of the game. And I've been watching some of it. You know, I don't want to watch all of it because I don't want to get spoiled, but it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it a lot. It definitely looks more promising, and each time I see it, it kind of just gets better and better. Of course, you know, Joseph Fares, the guy that appeared in the Game Awards.
Okay, can you swear here? Can you swear? Okay.
Okay.
Fuck the Oscars, you know? Fuck the Oscars! Fuck you!
Yeah, that guy, pretty infamous, and I'm looking forward to playing his game as he promises a lot of variety that just speaks to me. Far Cry 5 also launches next week, which, you know, is a game I was debating about picking up, and I think I'm going to give it a chance. You know, Far Cry 4 to me I didn't really like because I didn't feel like it changes up the formula. I still don't think it's really doing that with Far Cry 5. It's kind of a shame to see the Far Cry series go this way ever since 3, but planning on trying it out, you know, with co-op and just overall story. I'm not expecting much in terms of the story, of course, because I haven't really expected anything good from a Far Cry story since Far Cry 3. And I'm hoping good things. You know, this is honestly a game I'm going in with low expectations, but it could probably, you know, only surpass them. So I'm hoping that Far Cry 5 is good. And since I am picking it up, I'll probably end up doing like a review, so that'll be pretty cool. As well as with A Way Out, I'll probably do that easily. Going into April, this isn't really like that big of a month. You know, early April is probably going to be a time where I catch up on my backlog because I do have some games I really want to play. I did beat Red Dead Redemption, as you guys saw that one video, and really this year more than anything, I've been trying to go through classics. That's kind of like the beauty of a backlog. Like if you do have the time, it is like definitely a blessing and it's awesome, but if you don't have the time, it's kind of like the worst thing ever. So, you know, this year I played Red Dead, I played Resident Evil 4, a recent game. It's not really like, you know, a backlog game, but I finally beat The Evil Within 2. And overall, I think this is more importantly, I really want to beat God of War 1 and God of War 2. I'm actually probably going to live stream that when I'm on spring break, probably beating those games before playing God of War on the PS4, so that should be pretty fun. So yeah, God of War, April 20th, everybody knows this game. It's going to be pretty huge. You know, I'm saying that in terms of like a substantial release, but apparently the game is 25-30 hours, so I guess you could say huge in that way too. I don't think I really need to dwell on this too much because you guys know why I'm looking forward to God of War. Most likely if you even own a PlayStation 4, this is on your radar unless you don't really care for the exclusives that PlayStation puts out. But what can I say? I'm really glad that God of War got to April instead of March like we all wanted to, because there was really nothing else besides what, Yakuza 6, The Song of Life or something like that that's coming out in the middle of April. I'm probably not going to pick that up, but yeah, God of War is kind of like the savior for April really, because there's nothing really too substantial that's coming out that month. If you want to count Nintendo Labo, I guess that's a big heavy hitter right there. May is also a very exciting time. I think May is like my favorite time of the year because I just generally like the feeling of almost being out of school, as well as like, you know, E3 is right around the corner. But at the same time, you know, it's not necessarily June where you're in summer yet. I don't know. I just love May. And this year it seems to be getting quite a bit of games. I mean, I don't want to go over a lot of Nintendo games because they are ports, but some of them are pretty substantial, like Donkey Kong, and I think actually only Donkey Kong is the one I'm interested. But no, I think the biggest day in spring besides God of War has to be for me May 25th, because that's when two games I'm interested come out, and that's Dark Souls Remastered and Detroit Become Human. I'll talk about Dark Souls really quickly before here. Obviously, I just recently platinumed Bloodborne, which is also a really good game. Currently going for Dark Souls 3, so really want to play Dark Souls Remastered. I know it's like one of the best Dark Souls. I think it's up there with I think Dark Souls is the best from what I've heard. Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, with Dark Souls 2 kind of being like a weird one. Looking forward to playing the remastered version. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up on Switch or PS4 yet, but man, either way I go, it's going to be, awesome to play for Dark Souls 1, just like it is playing any From Software game, so looking forward to that. But more importantly, finally, we're getting Detroit Become Human, which is a game I've wanted to see the light of day for like a while now. It's one of those games where we've seen like since 2015. It's like, where is this game? So I'm really happy that this game is finally coming out, and I loved Heavy Rain, so I'm really, really looking forward to this game, and I just hope that the writing is good, and I just hope it's not going to be like Beyond Two Souls, so really crossing my fingers for Detroit Become Human to be good. It definitely looks like it's the most ambitious David Cage game yet, but we all know really that lies in terms of like the performances of the characters and the writing in particular. So as long as they can make you feel how you did in Heavy Rain in terms of making every decision count and just overall being invested into the story, I definitely think this game is easily, top 3 games in spring here that I'm looking forward to. So besides that, we got June, which is obviously for E3. There's nothing really that comes around that time, but I'm gonna throw something out here. We got God of War in April, we got Detroit in May, and I do think we're gonna get Spider-Man in late June. Now that might seem a little bit crazy to some people because I've seen like months like September and August get thrown around, which I think are completely viable, end of summer. But I think Insomniac's kind of been teasing that they want to, reveal more information about this game, and they've been kind of like very confident. I've been over this in some of my other videos. Insomniac's definitely at a good place right now, and definitely one of those leads at Marvel. I believe Bill was like kind of tweeting out saying, it's the first day of spring and Spider-Man is in the air. I definitely think this is like a late June game. This is gonna be a game that kind of like borderlines, spring, and pretty much it's gonna be in summer at that point. But I definitely think Spider-Man has a chance of being late June, just because when we saw all those games at E3 2017, and Sean Layden did, confirm later saying that all those games are going to be in the first half, that did get like a 2018 window. Spider-Man was one of those games, so this definitely can't be like later than July at least. If we're going by, Sean Layden's word, it has to be, late June, right? But, if this gets pushed back a couple days or a couple weeks into July, I think that's perfectly fine. But I don't think like past the middle of July we're really gonna be seeing the game, pushed back past that. I definitely think this game is quite soon. I think that Sony's gonna have like a big 3 months where God of War, Detroit, and Spider-Man, and that's gonna be an exciting time. So yeah, the storm's coming. Spring seems like it's packing a lot of punches, and those are kind of like the games I'm interested in. Obviously, all the ones I mentioned are kind of like the ones I'm personally interested in, but I know some of you guys will probably have like a different list. I mean, I mentioned the big one. So yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of variety in spring this year in particular than I have seen in other years, and just overall a lot of heavy hitters come in this, personally for me, a lot of heavy hitters coming in spring, so that's pretty cool to see. So I couldn't be more excited. We're like in the thick of March here. So yeah, make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, of course. I want to appreciate you for watching for the entirety of the video. Make sure to let me know what you guys are picking up in the next couple months, or at least interested in. And with that being said, guys, I've been online as always. Subscribe if you are new, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.